Hey, it's Diane from Teach Pre-K, and this week I'm going to do fairy tales and a little bit of nursery rhymes. I have a little disclaimer. I'm a preschool teacher who absolutely can't stand nursery rhymes, and I don't like singing either. I do music, I do nursery rhymes, but I'm not a super huge fan of either of those things. So it's kind of my dirty little secret. But I'm going to show you some of the math activities that I do during my nursery rhyme / fairy tale week because I love fairy tales. Love them. I think I just like things that I can really get into a story. Nursery rhymes are useful and fun, and I do stuff with them, but I'm going to show you mostly fairy tale stuff today. Okay, so I'm going to start right off the bat, and I'm going to show you something that's similar to what I use in my construction unit, and this is measuring Rapunzel's hair. So I will give the kids these mats and Unifix cubes. So they will lay the Unifix cubes, kind of stack them up so they're using a little fine motor, and they will measure how long the hair is. So I've got different, oh my gosh, it wouldn't be me without the upside downs, right? I've got different lengths of hair to measure. So I let them do, see that one's really long. I let them do a few of these, and they go from like really tiny to taking up the whole page. And then I have a ton of Unifix cubes, a ton. Then we get into something that's a little bit more realistic. I think kids really like to have, that hands-on experience. So I'm going to back up a little bit so you guys can really see this. This is one braid that I have made. I wish you could see how long it is. I'm going to keep backing up. The next one's bigger, guys. I just got some like variegated yellow yarn. I'm going to kind of show this to you up close. So this was just some yarn that I bought at the craft store and some little fake flowers and ribbon that I already had on hand. And what I did was I got it really long. I don't know if you can see this. I kind of doubled it, made a giant loop between two chairs, tied it off at one end, cut it at the other, kept it on one leg of the chair, and I bent it on the floor in my living room. So this is one of them. You're going to die when you see the other one. Okay. I'm not going to be able to show you how big this sucker is because it's huge. And this is Rapunzel's other braid. I'm going to keep it in half. This is in half. I made this one the same way. It's beautiful. The kids love it. I've had this for about 10 years. We laid this on the rug. So after they measure with those mats, they get to measure the shorter braid and then this long braid from end to end with the Unifix cubes. And lucky for me, I have a ton of Unifix cubes. So this is a favorite math activity during Fairy Tales Week. So that kind of covers like a little measurement. We have actually counted the Unifix cubes for the extra long one. You give a kid a challenge like, oh, I don't think we could do this. I don't think we could count all these cubes. And they'll do it. They'll do it. And it's amazing. So I made some shape castles too that I put in these little dry erase sleeves. They come in black and white and color. And all these things, I have different fairy tale mini lessons in my Teachers Pay Teachers store that all of these are in, and I'll leave all the links below to exactly what they link to. But this is in my Sleeping Beauty unit. The other one, of course, was Rapunzel. And they all come together too. All my fairy tales I've put together in a bundle, so you could definitely have more than a week's worth of stuff. But this one has like rectangles, and I'm looking at this now. I should have done all these little trapezoids, and I didn't. I might need to edit that and go through. But this one has a lot of triangles for the tops of the turrets, and the kids will trace the triangles, the square here. When I originally made this, I tried to do it on the windows, but everything got too small and it was just too hard for the kids to do. So you trace the shapes of the castles, and I have 4 different castles, that one and this one. And then, and like I said, they come in color and black and white. And then this one and this one too. So just basic shapes, but really good shape identification, fine motor, you know, practicing that pencil grip. These are great. So that kind of covers another standard of shapes during your fairy tale week. Another thing that I have is for Snow White, I have made these little count and clip cards. Like this one has the basket of apples. We have white roses and apples and gems. I have the scary little peddler bringing the poison apple, magic mirror, things like that. So you would count, like I'll do this magic mirror one. You would count the magic mirrors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then get your clothespin. And these are so tiny, of every size you can imagine of colored clothespins. And you can easily make colored clothespins by just getting cheap wood clothespins and getting some liquid watercolor or food color and soaking them in there for a while and then drying them out. So you would just clip the right ouncer. So this is another counting, one-to-one correspondence and numeral recognition activity for your fairy tale week, which is going to bring me to my favorite numeral recognition activity that is not for a fairy tale, but for a nursery run. I do love Little Bo Peep and Little Miss Muffet, but I have these little help Little Bo Peep find her sheep. And I have for all different levels, so you can differentiate, or if you teach like a younger class and an older class. I have 5 sheep, 10 sheep, help Little Bo Peep find her 10 sheep, her 15 sheep, and her 20 sheep. So this is a counting and numeral recognition activity. And what you do is I have all these little sheep, and our walls are carpeted halfway up downstairs. So I have Velcro on the back of the sheep, and I just stick them wherever I want them. You could use a tape loop, super easy. And I have written the numbers. So just like they have to find number 6 sheep, and then they mark that off on their paper. And these are not marked, and nothing is numbered in my Little Bo Peep mini lesson, but I have made those edits today, and hopefully we'll get those loaded either today or tomorrow. So that resource will be updated. Like if you got it today, you'll get a notice that it's been updated, and you'll get the ones with the numbers on them if I don't get to it today. So I would just put these shapes up to 20. Like if I was only doing 5, I would put 1 through 5, and my little guys would have to find them. 1 through 10, 1 through 15, 1 through 20, and they go through and they have to mark off the number when they see the number. So this is major numeral recognition activity, because the number is going to be on the shape and the number is going to be on their sheet as well. So that is my all-time favorite numeral recognition activity for Fairy Tale and Nursery Rhyme Week. I think I like it so much because it's my kids' favorite activity, and anything that they love and want to do again and again, I love, because I know it's effective and I know that they're having fun and learning at the same time. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you, the next, and not the last, but the next is for Cinderella. It's a little bit creepy, guys, but again, it is loved. It is loved, and I came up with this just like wanting to find something for each fairy tale for math, literacy, and like a craft, so that I could tell a story and like bring it into my other center. So that's what you're seeing is what I came up with for math. But for Cinderella, I'm like, what's kind of relevant? I mean, I'm measuring Rapunzel's hair. Wait till you see Princess and the Pea. That's so cute. You're going to love it. I'm doing the shapes on the castles for Sleeping Beauty, and the castle is such a central theme. So one of the central themes of Cinderella is she loses her shoe, and you got to see if the shoe fits. So I thought, okay, that's a great way to do like a size comparison and matching activity, that kind of math activity. So I'll show you what I came up with. Okay, so what I have is sorry guys, I'm probably leaving the screen. I have Cinderella's glass slipper. I'm going to show you the biggest. So this is the biggest one. I have her glass slipper, and I have a foot. So I have feet and shoes that go together, and they're all different sizes. So this is the biggest one, and you guys will die when you see how tiny the tiniest one. That is the tiniest one. So those two are kind of obvious. They look and they see, you know, the sizes. Of course, is the tiniest shoe and the tiniest foot. That is going to go together. But what I do is I lay out on the rug, I'll do one pile of feet. And I do this in small group centers. Otherwise, they'd just all descend and it would be mayhem. So I have a little pile of feet and then a pile of shoes. And I'm like, okay, here's the glass slipper. You've got to go find Cinderella's foot. So they measure them up that way. Like, I want to show you a couple of the other ones. So like these are 3 of kind of getting into my mediums. They're all pretty close in size. So it is tricky, and the kids really, really do have to work to make sure they're getting the right one. So there is, I think, either 10, 11, or 12 glass slippers to match the feet. But they love that activity. It's like they get up and move a little bit. And it's just kind of, they become part of the story almost. They're seeing which foot fits in the glass slipper. And it's a little challenging. They love it when they get a match. They even love it when at first it's not the right one, and then they've got to try a little harder for the next one. But they love that activity. Okay, one of my favorite fairy tales is The Princess and the Pea. I've always loved it since I was a little girl. I mean, just the idea of all those mattresses and, you know, Princess being so delicate that she feels a tiny pea under all those mattresses. So I thought, what can I do that can bring that story into my math center? So I'm going to back up a little bit because this is kind of big. And I did make this 11 years ago, you guys, and I'm still using it. This is a numeral recognition activity, 1 through 10. So I have these mattresses, and what's great is this is a Sharpie on lamination, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, why have I not rubbed these off and made some bigger numbers? I actually have a template for this with like different mattress designs in my Princess and the Pea mini lesson, which is also in my fairy tale bundle. So I'll leave links to that. But I've got all these mattresses, and they all flip up on the bed. They are just made of scrapbook paper, and this was so fun to make. So they are 1 through 10 down to the little bed, and then I just laminated a piece of green construction paper. And if you guys know me, you know I love my circle punches, and I will even leave a link for my 1-inch circle punch. So I just made a ton of peas, a ton, because they get lost every year. I lose them. So I've got this little pea that fits perfectly under the mattress. And I will usually do this with like 2 kids at a time. And first I'll hide the pea, and they'll have to say which number. Like I'll go, okay, which number mattress do you think it's over? And of course they're under. So of course they are so tempted just to lift up the mattress, because who wouldn't be? This is really fun. But I say, nope, you can't touch it. You have to say the number first. Then you can flip up the mattress. So we do that a few rounds, and then they hide the pea for each other. So I'll have 2 kids there, or they hide it for me too. So this is the Where's the Pea math game. So this is a great numeral recognition game. And you guys, you don't need to buy any of my resources for this. I just cut this out of scrapbook paper and made this myself. Like I said, I do have templates for like the bed, the pea, the mattresses, all that in my Princess and the Pea unit. But I made this before I knew how to make anything on a computer. So this was just really fun. All of these are just scotch taped on here. It's awesome. You can do a lot of flip things with just scotch tape on something laminated. So those are my favorite Fairytale and Nursery Rhyme math activities. I will do every single one of these this coming week. The kids will enjoy all of them, and I think I would be making new ones if they didn't enjoy what I already had so much. So anyway, that said, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. And like I said, I will leave links to every single one of my resources. I will also be doing a Fairytale Nursery rhyme craft and literacy video. And I got some ideas for a sensory bin that I'm so excited about. And when I put the sensory bin together, I will also do a video about my sensory bin. It's going to be really cute. It'll go perfectly with fairy tales. Okay, thanks so much for watching. And remember to subscribe, and I will have new stuff every single week for you teachers. And I hope it's helpful. Thanks so much.